Whoa, why does it zoom? Can I not zoom out? Oh, I feel like y'all, I hope this isn't too much in my face. I got a new phone. Oh, I definitely feel like I'm all up in when I do like this. So let me sit back. I also feel like I'm always backing out of my parking spot at work when I start my vlogs, which this will not be a vlog. This will be something different that I want to try. I want to try something new. I have the idea to record my weekly intentions on a Sunday, and then that following Sunday record actually how I did, and then post it all as one video. So this is my initial clip. I didn't get to record last Sunday because it was a holiday weekend and it just slipped my mind. But I think because of Battle Books, I really like that weekly goal type thing. Battle Books just lit a fire under me, and I'm not gonna say the fire has fizzled completely out, but it has died down. A little break from the whole vlogs, because I'm not gonna, you know, record clips throughout the week. Each video will just be one Sunday me saying what I plan to read, and the next Sunday me coming back to see if I actually completed what I wanted to read. And if I actually finish a book within that week, I'll record the video or the review for the book at that time. So with that being said, my intentions are to finish dun, 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 The Three Musketeers. I have under 200 pages left, so pretty much right at 180 I can go ahead and finish that. And I also started I Wish I Had a Red Dress by Pearl Cleage, and I want to be at least at the halfway mark in that book by the end of the week. So we'll see what happens. Hello, it's Tuesday again. A lot can happen in 7 days, okay? I'm just thinking back over the last 7 days from since I recorded the previous clip, and a lot has happened. I actually finished both books, The Three Musketeers and I Wish I Had a Red Dress by Pearl Cleage. My mother-in-law wasn't feeling well, and I ended up having to take her to the hospital, which she ended up being admitted. So on Monday, I spent most of the day at the hospital, spent the night at the hospital, and was there all day yesterday. So in that time, if you know about a hospital, it's a lot of waiting, a lot of sitting around. And so that's when I was able to finish I Wish I Had a Red Dress. And I finished The Three Musketeers on Friday. Okay, let's talk about Alexandre Dumas' The Three Musketeers. This version here was translated by Lawrence Ellsworth. I actually listened to the audiobook as well, and that one was narrated by John Lee. So I absolutely enjoyed this. This is my type of classic. Plenty of plot, just enough about the characters' backgrounds where I feel satisfied. There are a lot of characters in this book, and you really have to keep up with it. If you don't know, The Three Musketeers is really about four. Well, it starts off with D'Artagnan, 20 years old, 20 years old, leaving home because he wants to go and join the King Musketeers. He knows the person who's over it through his dad. He goes there, and that's where he meets Porthos, Athos, and Aramis. And my only previous knowledge of The Three Musketeers was the movie The Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio. And in that movie, they were all old. So they were different ages in the book, because one was like close to 40, one was 30, D'Artagnan wasn't even a musketeer at the start of the book. And a lot happens. What I found after reading through this book, that this is actual historical fiction. A lot of the characters are actual characters from 17th century France history. And but of course, you know, with historical fiction, the writer takes liberty on certain things, but some of the events and things that are mentioned are actually from history. Another thing that I learned is that this, when it was originally released, was done in like weekly volumes, I believe, weekly or monthly volumes. And I can only imagine having to wait for the next volume, because a lot happens and the chapters in this book end sometimes on cliffhangers. I'll definitely say the last 200 pages, I could not put it down. I just absolutely enjoyed it. If I was really into the star ratings, I would give it a 4. Really definitely recommend this if you want to give a classic a try. One of the characters, which I'm guessing like the bad guy or the bad person in here, she was actually my favorite character. And the plot of this book also changes from the beginning to the end, because going into it, I didn't know where it was going to go, and the ending left a lot. And I was like, it wraps it up. But then I also found out that this is like the start of an actual series. I doubt if I will pick anything else up from it, but I am glad I read this. Let's talk about I Wish I Had a Red Dress by Pearl Cleave. This is the last fiction book of hers that I have completed. So now I have read all of her fiction work, and I really enjoyed this one. If this one is actually book 2 in the Idlewild series, the first one is What Looks Like Crazy on an Ordinary Day. I actually did a review of that book, and I'll leave a link below for it if you're interested. But this one picks up, we find Joyce, who a lady in her 40s who has been a widow for the past 5 years. So she is working. She has created this youth circle for teenage mothers and just young women in general. You know, a mentoring type thing, but also with the daycare. She spends her time running that and trying to, you know, get services for her program, or funding for her program is the word I'm looking for. And in comes the new assistant principal, Nate Anderson, who is extremely tall and good looking. So you know what happens from there. So this is kind of like a contemporary romance, I guess. But at the same time, you are very involved with Joyce and the young ladies that she mentor and is working with. And this also takes place in Idlewild, Michigan, which early in the 60s, 70s, this was a prominent place for African American people. But then, you know, segregation happens, black people start to leave, and you know, this town has went down from there. This book actually takes place, I'm guessing it's like the early 90s. When was this actually written? Well, this said 2001. I don't know. The language in this book is probably not the early 90s, maybe the late 90s. But I did enjoy this book. Joyce, the main character, she kind of got on my nerves. And I don't know how to describe exactly what I feel about her. I like her and I understand her plight, you know, being a feminist and being a woman who is now on her own, who is trying to teach other young women. And they talk about, you know, the things that make you a free woman. But at the same time, she is so not inclusive when it comes to men. And I don't know how to exactly put it in words how I feel, but it was a flaw in my opinion. I understand, you know, being a strong woman, but you know, come on, give a man a break sometimes. And not in the way that you're going to give them a break if they're doing something wrong. She had a man, to me, that was genuinely open and trying, but she still had barriers. But anyway, I would recommend this. So, that's it, y'all. A week has passed. I actually finished 2 books. I'll let you all know in my next video what I am currently reading for the next 7 days. I'm Lady, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.